Hello everybody, welcome back. This is take two of my how to use the VASSAL module for Silent War by Compass Games 2.0 with IGN. No, I don't have the IGN parts in yet, but the automation's in place for it. So this hopefully will be my last how to use video, but we'll see as things change, still fine-tuning everything. Anyway, start at the flash screen. We're going to go straight into the main game, and yes, because of automation, it takes a little time to load. The more automation you put in, the longer it takes. Um, so let's start out with the main map. Counters, these counters over here can be increased, so you can either use the mouse and do them by hand, or you can use the increase. Though it's cleaner if you do the increase and not the manual. Reset the 0, reset it, and then you can start all over again. That's all the basic counters. You see they're all here stacked at 0. Current war period, you just select whatever war period you're in. I still have in place where that might tie in with something, but I probably will never use that. Same with torpedo status. Just set the torpedo status. The turns, I did change the turns. You can no longer remove these ones. It all happens right here. For setup, you set everything right here. And then once you're set up, so let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and set up, and I'm going to put the month on December so you guys can see this. And let's put we'll keep the year where it's at. Put so when you hit next turn, it's going to advance the week. And then once you hit the last week, it's going to advance the month. And if it advances from December to January, it's also going to advance the year. So the only thing you need to mess with now is the weeks, and just put the next turn in. Just pay attention to where you're at up here. So I did get that automation in there. You have a couple of pieces down the bottom for your ultra areas, your special mission zone, and your weather. Typhoon 1, 2, and tropical storm are all on the same counter. I'm going to come back to the main map, as we're there right now. We'll go to the counters. You shouldn't need to use the counters for a lot. I did add a couple of extra things in the markers. There's a miscellaneous now that has an area not in use. So if you're painting a scenario where not everything's used, you can just go ahead and put that area not in use over everything that not being used. It shouldn't be blatant. It should kind of make the screen still look good. If you select it, once you let it go, you'll have to hit shift to select it again. So if you want to delete it, you can, but you got to hit shift key to do that. I also put port out. So if a port gets lost or anything, say you lose Manila, you're going to put that over there. Just kind of remind you that it's no longer available to you. The little things I did. The rest of the markers you really shouldn't need. I have them all integrated into the game. I will, however, bring out one submarine and show you the automation in that. I have a sunk display up here to put the sunk ships and everything. Not much to it. I didn't go overboard on it. But sunk ships will come over to here. Enemy subs will come here, and your sunk subs will come here. It's just going to stack them. So if you want to spread them out, you'll have to do that on your own. I did add that as per request. The damage and everything, we can rotate. You shouldn't need to do that. I have most of the automation in there. And it does look like I need to change. Yes, I need to put a marker on that. Make myself a note. Area not in use markers get base, so they stay under the counters. There's a lot going on. Sometimes putting these together so little things slip your mind. Also on the main counter, I have it where you send it to the combat display, which is going to drop the current operating area for you, and it'll send the sub over to the combat display, and it'll be up to you to put it whichever column you want it on. But when you're done, then you can just return to the operating area, and that should take you right back to where you were. Then you delete out the current operating area. I'll go more into the combat display later. Um, Transit, patrol, I fixed that. Somehow I had that backwards. Like I said, a lot going on sometimes. Skipper, assign a skipper is going to bring you up a blank space where you're going to assign the skipper name. All that's under here. Say we want Koi in there, and then he's going to be a +1. A little clunky, but I did that for a reason so that these counters can follow the submarine around as the automation brings it from done to operating, and as you get sent to the combat display, and as you'll see later, it will also follow you through the ports, etc. So the other thing, let's see, spotted. If you're spotted, you're going to hit the spotted. It's going to put a counter there. As long as you're selected, you'll be able to see which sub you're using. Once you deselect it, the counters will then be on top. I did that so you can see what the status is, but as soon as you hit on the submarine, you'll see exactly what you're looking at. Damaged, return to base, you get all the statuses on one. Which while we have them, I'm going to go ahead and bring us over to. Now the next part, this is important. You're only going to get the menu for going to a port or tenders when you're in the proper zone. As you see, nothing shows up on my tenders right now. So if I go up here, say to Dutch Harbor, all of a sudden I'm going to have Dutch Harbor Broom Box or Dutch Harbor Repair Holds. If I send this to, say, Dutch Harbor Repair Hold, it's going to reset everything except for my skipper. And then you just kind of work your way through. First off, you'd see how bad your damage is if you went to the harbor, to the repair. Say we're going to 1. Then we're going to progress from repair 1 down to the broom box, and it's going to automatically change the direction of the sub for you. From the broom box, you can either go pier side or ready for sea. For our intents and purposes, I'm going to go ready to sea, and from there right back out to Dutch Harbor. Now, Midway Island, that's one of the ports, well, not ports, where a subtender can be. First off, you're going to get the menus without the subtender actually being there. So there is going to be a responsibility to the player to, not use them if they're not in that area. But should you have a subtender in Midway, let's go get our subtender up here. And let's say we've got the Holland in Midway. We will now be able to send him to Holland, which is going to wind up in the broom box. Again, facing the right direction. We'll go from the broom box down to, let's go just ship side or ready for sea. Then ready to sea, and then back out to return to operations, and it's going to send you right back out to Midway Island. And so that's that. I didn't do anything yet with the Netherlands. I've got to read more to see how they operate. For the U.S. tenders, as they become available, you put them over here in where that blue box was. That's where they will draw it out randomly, because a lot of it says put a tender, and you're responsible to draw that out randomly. So that's that. Next, dice, black dice, white dice, and it'll give you the reading up here, black 2, white 0, etc. Or you can just see it right up there in the window. I forgot that last time. The prep for operations. This is when you go to the prep for operations part of the SOE. If you hit this button, any submarine in the done section will go up to the corresponding, and it's going to take a little bit because there's a lot of automation in this now. We'll go up to the corresponding operating section, and it definitely slowed down a lot since I added all that extra automation in. maybe go get yourself a cup of coffee or just do them all by hand. But as you see, eventually it'll kick them all up there. And that's if you have them anywhere. But that's slowed down considerably since I put all the automation for the ports and the tenders in there. But I'll leave it in there. You don't have to use it. You can. Next is the submarines. All your submarines are in here. You grab a stack as they become available. The first ones are all separated by type in the start of the campaign, war start. The rest of them are by the month that they come in. So you just select the stack and put them on the board wherever they belong as your campaign requires. Down the bottom you have the Japan, German, Italy. Your random enemy here, I would suggest putting them in as you need them and putting them back out if you or however you want to work that. And the British and the Netherlands are here if you decide to use them. They are kind of in an order. You will have to separate them out. You just didn't have the room, and it gets a little unwieldy if you do too much of it. Target. All you're going to need to really do, I got to get rid of this yellow. The yellow will not be here. I needed to do them to make my automation here work. And let me make myself a note. The yellow to clear. If you're in War Period 1, you hit War Period 1, it's going to draw the random chits you need and draw the specific chits you need for your various cups. And we'll already have them assigned in the draw cups right here. And yes, it looks like they're not shuffled, but they are. I've been through this quite a lot, and they will just draw out randomly from each one. And actually, you don't need to do any of that. That will be automatic for you. So once you're done, if you want to reset your cups, it's simple. You're starting to get used to your the cup draws, or you reach 2 months and you want to reset your cups, just hit the reset target cups. It's going to send everything back up over here. Hit the proper war period again, and your cups will be reset. And you feel free to check them out. I've checked them several times, and they work great. So cups, I also have the IGN cups. Eventually I'm going to have all the starting IGN counters that belong in these cups here, and all the dated ones will be sitting out here for you to put in as they become available. And the automation's in place for them to show up on the combat display. I've just got to code everything in. And once I get the artwork in, when you come to the combat display, your ship will already be, I guess I could have used the existing one I had out there, because in the combat display, your ship will already be on there. You'll say we got a 4, 2, and 2 draw. I'll spread this out so you guys can see everything. We're going to draw 4 targets right here. So automatically going to draw them out of A. Let's say we got 3 here, and then 2 and 2. Oh, 3 and 2. And say I'm going to come in from here. We're going to turn over. We're just going to turn over 3 of them. So we're going to unmask him. Unmask him. And of course, this one's already going to be out of there. So we can return that to deck right away. Actually, it's not going to let me return that to deck unless I do it from here. I do have a lot of restrictions in place. So if something doesn't work, it's because you moved it somewhere it's probably not supposed to be. And let's flip this last one. Oh, undo that. Flip it. And once I get this in place, I do have damaged and sunk on here to send them up to the sunk, or you can place a damaged counter on them. I'll keep that off to the side for later. For drawing TDCs, you just click over here, draw your TDCs, flip them over, and then when you're done the encounter, you hit clean up. Sends everything back to the proper area, deletes out the damage markers, and it will send, you will need to send your guy back to the operating area, as I stated earlier. Next up is the SOP. SOP's self-explanatory. I have an arrow in there to remind you where you're at. Tenders, went over to tenders already. Same for Seriaba. Works as all the other ports do. And yes, if your ship is in uh, Seriaba, it'll automatically come up to here and work through there, just the same as any other port worked. Um, Notes, I added notes so you can keep track of your notes here. Something else I forgot on the subs. I put a kill log in there, so you can put whatever you want. There's up to 20 entries allowable, so you can see what each sub has done. It won't tally it for you. It's just a record for you to keep track of who's done what. Realistically, I think the most ships sunk by any sub in World War II was 15. So I think 20 should be enough. Honestly, it wouldn't be too hard to put some more in there for you. Ship sunk, I already showed you that. Then you're just your screenshot and your zooms. And basically that's it. Like I said, the automation slowed down a little bit since I put all the other automation in yesterday. But it's still probably going to be a lot simpler than moving everything by hand. And the only one that really slowed down was this operating, because it's got to check everything to see if it's supposed to be doing anything with it. And I'll look at it and see. I might be able to decrease that time by putting a couple of extra things into the to the global property, just to try to make it happen. That wasn't too long. So there you have it. That's Silent War 2.0. I believe this is okay to put up. I will double check with Mo, make sure I'm not stepping on anybody's toes, but would like to put this up on the Silent War Vassal page. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be allowed to do that. I just want to make sure I don't step on anybody's toes at Compass or anything, because the official one is already out. But I'm going to just keep my mouth closed on that one. Thanks everybody for joining me. This is Silent War 2.0 and by Compass Games, and I hope to get it out to you guys, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for joining me. Bye now.